Everyone, this is Moonlight Dragon, and today we are going to go over a slight beginner's guide to MvM, playing the engineer. Now, this is a class that is very, very vital and a staple to having a successful run in any kind of mission. Engineer, unfortunately, is not very well practiced. A lot of players go in playing it blindly, so I'm going to try to help you out, show you what to start with, and how to progress the best I can. I'm not going to go over all the key elements, where to place your buildings. The thing to remember with building placement is you have to keep it situational. Keep it for your teammates, but also protect yourself. So to start out, we're going to go over the weapons. So to begin out, any beginner, this is what you should be starting out with as a beginner. This is the Rescue Ranger, the short circuit for dealing with rocket and grenade spam, projectile spam, and the Jag for cheaper buildings. Now, as far as alternates go, I am more of a combat-based engineer, so I tend to use the Frontier Justice to try to help my team take out giants and troublesome robots with the crits boosted and everything. This thing right here is a huge help if you want to support your team, but play with a Rescue Ranger first until you're comfortable with how you move around as engineer. So, we're just going to stick with the Rescue Ranger for right now, and just go with that I'll just go ahead and switch back. The main thing with the Rescue Ranger is you're pulling your buildings back when they're getting low on health. But where I'm using the Frontier Justice, I usually just let my Sentry Busters eat it, etc., etc. Now, for your secondary, I use the short circuit to deal with rocket and grenade spam, like I said. Alternate you can use is the Wrangler. This is not my pref. A lot of players will use the Wrangler to, really tank out damage and try to help out with giants. But that is completely up to you, completely optional, not my choice. And if you want to go nuts, you can max out the firing speed on a pistol and call yourself a mobile mini sentry. But in all seriousness, this does not really do all that much damage. As far as wrenches goes, you can also use not just the Jag, but you can also use the Eureka effect, so your other teammates can use the teleporter without worry. There is also another shotgun I forgot to mention. You can also use on waves with giant medics, especially giant quick fix medics, who are an absolute pain. Once they pop their Uber, you got a whole new problem to deal with. You can actually use the pumps in here to keep those giant medics from popping. The only downside is there is no penetration upgrade for this. Now, we are going to go into upgrades. So as far as upgrades goes, the most important upgrade of all time is this right here. And this has to be maxed out the very first thing, no matter what. I cannot stretch the importance of this enough. The next important upgrade that you have to have before anything else is the two-way teleporter. And you're going to be like, oh, what? Why is that so important? And I'm going to tell you why it's important. So, but here in just a moment. Now, as far as other upgrades goes, I've got an extra 250, so I'm just going to get a medical capacity. I'm only going to buy one though, and then focus on maxing my building health. So only one to 2 points of medical capacity tops, but you really want to focus on getting that building health maxed out first. As far as sentry firing speed, do not do more than level 2. They did recently patch in the update to where level 3 works, but it's not really impressive enough to even bother with. So don't do any more than level 2, because level 2 is more built for Wrangler users. Now, as far as the disposable sentry goes, this does help out in some cases, but this is a late game build, so do not buy this until the last 2 waves, and once you got your other upgrades done. If you're using the Eureka effect, you may want to focus on trying to getting some attack speed. I can go without it with any kind of wrench swing speed at all. I'm usually fine without it. Now, if you're using the Rescue Ranger, you're going to want to use just only max out firing speed for it. That's all you need. If you're using the Frontier Justice like I am, then you're going to want firing speed, reload speed, clip size, and projectile penetration, and maybe some health on kill. Because trust me, you get that thing as a full auto shotgun, you max it out with those crits you get from your sentry, you've got one hell of a team supporter. Now, if you want to go with resistances, if you're not feeling confident, you can go with resistances. They can help. But really, the only resistance that I ever really need is crit resistance, because there's splash damage is more of a threat to me than bullet damage. So if you're getting a lot of soldiers or demo men, you may want to consider getting blast resistance, but it's not really necessary. If they've got crits circled in the icon, definitely max out your crit resistance. Otherwise, just get jump height and 2 points of movement speed. Metal regen has no use whatsoever. It's completely useless, because that's what ammo packs and your dispenser is for, unfortunately. Health regen is absolutely a no-go as well. Now, something you also want to do is make sure you've always at least got one building upgrade canteen at all times. And that's it for upgrades, guys. Just make sure that you're getting that building health maxed out as soon as you can. But first and foremost, maxed out dispenser range, very, very first thing, and a two-way teleporter, as you'll see why here in just a moment. Now let's get into building placement. As far as your teleporter entrance, you can put it in, if you got two spawn doors, you can put them in between. That is perfectly okay in most situations, but to really, really benefit your team with that two-way telly, you're going to want to put that sucker right there beside the entrance of one. And let your teammates know what side you put it on, so they don't walk over here and be like, oh, I gotta walk all the way over here now. So, and yes, you need to do that as well with Rottenberg. You can put it in the middle, but it just helps the team out a lot better. Because if you die, it's kind of your own fault, even though death is mostly inevitable. Now, as far as your teleporter exit, you are going to put that right where the team is going to gather. So if you're on Manhattan, you're going to put that right there to where it's easily accessed. And you have just built a portable upgrade station, the ultimate powerhouse, the ultimate upgrade to help your team out, dish out that damage so much faster. And especially if you have a medic and demo, the medic and demo can just come in here, grab an upgrade like really fast, go back out, and then they're ready to start shooting at the bots again. Medic can pop a crit upgrade, be ready. I mean, this thing makes a huge difference with your teammates. And trust me, they will love you, they will praise you, they will absolutely shower you in friendly kisses for simply building a two-way telly. Now, as far as your dispenser goes, most beginners will put their dispenser on Manhattan. They'll put it behind this barrel, but you want to keep it to where everyone can use it and have easy access for it. So put it close to the center of where they're going to be gathering. So if they're going to be like up here, put it right there and there. Because the thing about exits, about teleporters and dispensers, is the bots are not going to target these buildings unless there are no players alive to be around here. If there's no players around here, they're going to shoot the buildings. But other than that, they will not give a shit about them. But one thing you got to definitely let your heavy especially and other players know is do not hug your dispenser. And yes, I do have a very, very particular bind to address that issue. Now, as sentry goes, you want to make sure that you're playing with your sentry very, very defensively. Do not play offensively with your sentry. And the reason why I'm saying that is you want your sentry to stay alive and do as much damage as possible. So a lot of players what they should do is you want it to be covered, but you want it to be just enough out in the open to where it's going to do its job, because you want this sentry to be a flank attack. You want it to perfectly flank unexpected robots to where they don't immediately target the thing. But the thing is, a lot of mistakes engineers make, beginners do, is they keep their sentry away from the bomb. Let's say the bomb gets all the way back here. We'll call this the bomb. And what they'll do is Actually, no. Let me give a better example. Let's say this is the bomb all the way back here. Engineers will keep their sentry all the way up to the front here.
Out of my way. Out of my way.
Will keep their sentry there, and that bomb will just sit there. And they won't pay attention to the alternate paths. They won't come to any kind of any bots that slip under, go under, and they'll grab that bomb and they'll run right off with it. So in order to combat this, you need to keep your sentry within range of that bomb. Think of it as your place marker to where you should keep it. If that bomb moves, your sentry needs to move, no matter what. So just keep it situational. Say like right here, the bomb's moved over here. We'll put our sentry here. That way it's still covering multiple positions, etc., etc. So that's the important thing. Keep that bomb covered no matter what. Because unlike Manhattan, other missions are not going to have a countdown timer to where the bomb resets. Now, as speaking of Manhattan, we notice that we've got gates here. You want to make sure that your sentry is not anywhere close to these gates if for some reason they cap it. If they do cap this gate, you need to get your teleporter up here,
Teleporter going up.
dispenser up here, and do not put your sentry here. Move that sentry further away from the gate because you still need to make it a situational weapon. So this right here, best place on Manhattan if that gate falls. So that way you've got coverage on all areas. The bots are not going to immediately target it, and you've got coverage, and the sentry busters are not going to kill your teammates.
Moving out.
Now, just going to give you a quick demo of how I play combat.Ng as well. Bear in mind, this is not going to be a serious run. I do have SV cheats on, so if the bomb gets a little too far back, I'll probably end up killing the bots. But I want to just show you the greatness of dealing with a Frontier Justice if you decide you want to play a more aggressive playstyle like I do.
The first wave of robots is here.
So, as you can see, my sentry right there is covered up. These bots are going to be more focused on your teammates that are lined right up here. And I'm only going to put my dispenser right here because I'm going to show you they're not going to care about they're not going to care about these right here. See, all the scouts are targeting me. They don't care about that dispenser. They're all focused on me and that sentry. Okay, so here we got a buster coming. And here comes the heavy buster, I mean. So I let my sentry die. Upgrade another one. And you can see that beautiful damage. Just that beautiful raw damage from that Frontier Justice. You combine that with a heavy, you've got one hell of a team supporter. I mean, this sucker can really lay waste to these Japanese air forces. And of course, that was just a move mistake. But who the hell likes these samurai demos anyway? But anyway, that's it, guys. That's just the best way to do it. Just keep supporting your team. Like I said, two-way tele is definitely essential. Maxing out your dispenser range is absolutely a must-have. Play aggressively, play supportively, play around with your upgrades, see what works for you. But definitely, like I said, it's all about supporting your team and absolutely keeping that bomb under a tight defense. And I'm going to go get this guy off my porch. Get off my porch! He's just going to stare at me. Oh, no, he's not. Okay. Alright, guys, that's it. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments. I will help you out in any way I can. But this is Moonlight Dragon, and signing off. Peace.